Welcome, Sabera, and we will soon be checking out Greak. And I do believe she's now joining us. Welcome, Sabera.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. How about you?
Doing great. I hope everybody in chat is also doing wonderful. Hi, everyone. I'm Sabera Messia. Today I am going to be running Greek Memories of Azur All Main Quests. If any of you happen to catch my run at SGDQ 2022, not online, somehow. I did the any percent run there. All Main Quests is pretty different. I believe Sparx, correct me if I'm wrong, that the glitch exhibition incentive was met.
It was indeed.
And so afterwards, so during the run, I'm actually not going to explain any of the glitches. I'm going to tell you what happened. But I'm not going to say anything about why, and we'll go into more detail afterwards, which will hopefully be very interesting for everyone. Because otherwise, I would be sad. But yeah, so I'm gonna. Are we good for me to go ahead and count in and get started then?
Should be all set.
All right, great. Starting the run in 3, 2, 1. Go. So Greek Memories of Azur is the tale of 3 little elf-like creatures, Korans, 2 brothers and a sister who get separated from one another during the invasion of these creatures called Urlogs, and they need to reunite. See, the war against the Urlogs is not going really well, and the Korans have decided that the best course of action is to evacuate. So we're all trying to get the heck out of Azur. We're not trying to save Azur. We are just we're just trying to get out. Greek is our titular protagonist. He's the nimblest of the 3. He has this nifty little dodge roll that makes him go a little bit faster. He has a sword that he can swing while running at full speed, and he has a double jump built in, and a crossbow that we don't get a ton of use out of, honestly. But it is there. And it is unique to him. And he is all by himself. He is looking for his siblings. And we start out kind of in this forest area, just sort of like dodging and rolling until we fall down a waterfall. Now, I took that tumble off the bridge really quickly to basically trigger the cutscene faster. If you dodge roll off of a ledge, you fast fall. And so we'll use that to our advantage. This game has fall stagger, like some Metroidvanias you may be familiar with. But the fall stagger is determined by how long you've been falling for and not how far you fall. So fast falling can actually help abate fall stagger. This is Greek's sister Adara. She's not real. This is a dream sequence. I mean, she is real. She's like talking to him through the dream. She's a magic user, so she has these magic bolts that she fires. She can also hover. The hover and her attack actually use the same magic meter, and it recovers over time eventually. But that means that you're like making a choice with her about movement versus attacking. I did this wrong because I'm trying to talk at the same time. But so there's a little bit of a weird quirk about Adara's hover that I will talk about later. You're not supposed to be able to climb through that floor. That is the only glitch that you won't see at the glitch exhibition. I'm not really sure why you can climb through that floor, but you can. This is the only block moving puzzle in the game. or the only like you're supposed to put a block on a switch, and it's faster to just hold the gate open than it is to let Adara pass under. I left Adara behind because you don't, strictly speaking, need her. The game will stop Greek's movement when he hits that button to teach you how to recall your siblings to each other. But if you just tap it really quickly, then Greek can kind of get out of here faster. And since it's only a dream, no sisters were harmed in the making of this speed strat. We are found by a Koran encampment. And we're pretty hurt. You can see we're down to 1 HP. And this woman, Riam, wants us to drink soup so that we feel better. And in fact, after the first part of the conversation, she will not talk to us until not only have we eaten the soup, but we've recovered at least 1 hit point from it. So you're basically waiting for that hit point to recover and then talking to her again as fast as possible. So this is Raven's Road Camp. We're going to be running in and out of here a lot, but the most important thing that we have to do first is save the game. That is not a safety save, by the way. That save is to prevent us from getting a lecture when we leave the camp to the left in just a few moments. This is Tauros. He's trying to build an airship. He wants some help building an airship, so he's going to ask us, a small child, to run out and get some rope for him. And because we have a sword, and that means that we're a capable warrior, right? We're going to go get him his rope. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to fast fall off of this ledge. And down here, there is a rope hanging out right here. So we are able to animation cancel item pickups, doors, lots of things by swinging our sword at the same time as we do something. And I'll talk more about that later. Those animation cancels are really useful. They save us a decent amount of time, and they also actually make door transitions safer because you can take damage while you are going through a door. Oh, I missed that. That's fine. Now I'm gonna have to fight this thing. So by animation canceling a door transition, you actually, you still get the door transition, but you can move around freely while the door transition is happening, which is really just very useful, and I will actually be demonstrating that in just a second. So you see, I was still moving around, but I also got the door transition. And so we're going to go ahead and do that again and dodge through here. That enemy, I've never seen an enemy spawn directly on the door before I hit the usual spawn points over there. So that was a little bit of bad luck, a little bit of that's never happened before RNG.
She said the thing. She said the thing, chat.
I said the thing. So now we've got 4 pieces of rope, and that means that we can return to Tauros, and he will give us a different job instead. So as we're running back here, just like a couple of weird little quirks about the movement. For some reason, running uphill and running downhill doesn't affect your speed at all, but dodge rolling uphill is slow, and dodge rolling downhill is fast. It's very strange. I don't actually understand why, but it only works that way when VSync is off. When VSync is on, dodge rolls are all kind of the same speed, but you get more speed gain from the downhills than you lose from the uphills in general. So it's worth it to run with VSync off. So Tauros is going to ask me to go to a swamp and get some magic explosive gas. I don't know why he wants us to have explosive gas, but that's where we're going. And it turns out, spoiler alert, that this is where we are going to find our sister for realsies. And that's actually, it's pretty important. I stopped by the blacksmith, who will be a little bit more important later, to pick up a couple of whetstones. Whetstones are consumable items that increase the amount of damage that Greek does by 1 point for a limited amount of time with every single attack. And his basic attack, his basic combo does 2 to 3 damage normally. We're basically doing 50 to 33% more damage with every sword swing, which is a pretty significant boost. We're going to be saving that for bosses, as you might not be surprised to learn this, because they soak up a lot more damage than regular enemies. I am running a little bit out of my way on from the marsh because I want to hit this teleport stone right here, because we're going to be using that for fast travel later. It's going to help us get around a lot quicker, whereas we could have just dropped from above into the swamp, and at any percent we ignore that teleport stone. So all main quests already slightly different routing. In any percent we wouldn't have done the rope quest either. I forgot something kind of important. I want to be using a whetstone already because these vines only take 1 hit as opposed to 2 hits. Not a big deal. So this is our first boss, the Urlag Scoutmaster. This one is unfortunately more RNG than I would like, because the scouts teleport around randomly whenever you hassle them into a corner, basically. So what you're trying to do is actually get them to do fairly long runs across the floor. So what I want to do, and I'm not actually doing a good job of it right now, it's pretty hard because he keeps landing in a bad position. There we go. So like this. There we go. And you basically just want to like chase him down and whack him with the sword. Doing 50% more damage for a fight that is entirely RNG like that is a big deal. The next thing I'm gonna do as I come into the swamp here, and this is kind of important, is that I am going to pick up an item that deals damage to me. So that consumable item that I just picked up, you eat it, and a short while later it deals damage to you. The reason that you would pick that up is because there is actually cooking in this game. We're not going to do any of it, but there is cooking in this game. I'm going to take a real quick save here for reasons that will become apparent later. This dungeon uses a whole bunch of light puzzles. You stick light onto stones and it causes platforms to move. But we skip most of them because clever jumping placement allows you to just hit most of the floating platforms. So now I'm going to eat this, and I'm going to go into this little letterboxed cutscene thing here. And Greek was supposed to plod along slowly there, but because he took damage while we were in there, it freed him back up to his normal movement. So we actually saved a little bit of time there by taking some damage. Now we have Adara back. We have hugs. There are 2 hugs sequences in the game. They are the best part of the game. And now with Adara in tow, we are going to go ahead and we're going to get some gas. While I kind of run to the next thing, we have time for donations if you have any.
I do have one, a $10 donation from JD Puppy, who is calling me out specifically, saying, !steal, JD Puppy sneaks into deep clam storage and pilfers a clam, stop taking my clams, angry face. JD, no stealing. This is no stealing clams.
Swiper, no swiping.
No swiper, no swiping.
All right, so our job here is to get 3 vials full of explosive gas, and to do that we have to use these pumps. If we were going to fight the next boss, we would do things a lot differently than the way that we're doing it. We wouldn't bother getting this particular vial, but we are actually not going to fight the next boss. You're supposed to have to, but that's like having to do stuff is really overrated. You're not my real mom, etc., etc. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this. That's number 2. And I really should have gotten this on the way in, but we're gonna get it now. It's not that big of a deal. Put the container down, grab this, and number 3. Okay, so all right, you're supposed to get this bronze emblem after the boss that lets you unlock the gate that's behind where you get Adara, that lets you get out into a completely different part of Valora Waterfalls that you can use to get into town the back way. But we're just not going to do any of that. See, it turns out that Greek is an illusionist, a magician, if you will. Want to see me pull an elf out of a hat? A treasure chest, actually, but close enough. So we're going to go ahead and pull our sister out of a treasure chest. And now we're free to just go ahead and grab the teleport point on our way back home. And we can go ahead and turn in this quest. No boss required. Greek is faster than Adara in general. So I'm going to have him turn the quest in by himself. And then Tauros is going to have me go talk to the blacksmith, who is going to give me my next quest. Basically, when you have 2 children instead of 1 child, the important thing to do with them is send them into an abandoned fortress that's overrun with monsters, so that they can smelt some metal for you, so you can make swords out of it. Right, like this is a normal job that you give to kids. Nothing wrong here.
Very
Totally
normal. Very normal.
Extremely.
I had that job. I had that job when I was in middle school.
Exactly,
For sure.
right? Like it's just what you do. Oh. And there we go. It's faster to climb up that way than it is to go the other way, and you know, you just you want to take the shortcut, right? Okay, so Valgor, in addition to giving us some unrefined ore, also gave us a key that's going to let us get through this this gate right here. And getting through the gate basically requires that we, you know, send one sibling through to grab the crank on the other side, and then, you know, we let the other one come on back, and if you let go of the cranks, the gate falls again. It's, you know, very standard, like, kind of Lost Vikings-y puzzle-solving stuff. But now, now it is time for us to actually go into the fortress. The fortress is completely skipped in any percent. In any percent, we go get Adara without doing any of the quests. We have Adara jump a bridge that she's not supposed to jump. Then we have her climb a wall she's not supposed to be able to reach. And then we're in the late game. It's just, it's really kind of just very different. And then, you know what? I completely forgot that I don't have to do the thing anymore. I can just do this. That's right. So we don't actually have to bother with that ladder. So we'll go ahead and leave Greek there. We won't need him for the next thing. So here we actually need to grab 2 gears. And I guess since there's a war going on, you could call them Gears of War.
Hey.
You're supposed to... There's a lot of these like waiting puzzles here, where one sibling is supposed to stand in one cage, and that weights the other one down for the other sibling, right? Like these shift underneath you, and all of that. But it turns out that Adara can do all of them by herself, without needing Greek to actually weight anything, or she can just skip them. That was not... Oh, come on. Please. There we go. All right. There is supposed to be a waiting puzzle there. There's a way around that one, again, that doesn't involve Greek, from the other side, but it is slower even if you miss the first couple of attempts. And then here you can just do this, so we can skip the cages once again. And then on our way back, our ability to skip the cages, the cage puzzles comes in handy again, because we can just leave Greek here. He can just kind of hang out there, do absolutely nothing for a little while. Adara can fast fall by attacking while she's falling. It's a little bit different than Greek. Greek, I can get a little extra run on him there while we're waiting, because I need to bring him across. I'm gonna need him for the upcoming boss fight. Please, can you kill this thing? Thank you. Again, another puzzle, another one of those waiting puzzles where Adara's hover just enables her to completely ignore the fact that it even exists. And then we grab our brother. Hey, everything's cool, hunky-dory. We get both of them through here. And then we are going to use another whetstone and head into this boss, Rissar Odect. This boss can be a little bit funky. Oh. Oh, no, I did not mean to do that. I'm gonna have to... Ah. All right, we're okay now. More or less. All right, and Rissar Odect is dead. I accidentally used a whetstone there, which was a little bit unfortunate. I believe I have enough to buy one. But so anyway, we're gonna smelt the ore here. And smelting the ore gives Adara a vision of our big brother who is over in some other temple. And so we are going to go look for him. We're going to go ahead and leave Adara here. There is a whetstone here, but I was actually counting on having that replacement already. So like that's already factored into the run route. So it's not like this. I'm going to pull my sister out of a box again. Just, you know, like you do. And we're going to go ahead and move on. I definitely have enough money to pull one more whetstone, so we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be totally fine. We do have to walk back though, for the most part. So we are going to be on our way for a little bit. So if we have any donations or blurbs or anything that you would like to read, please, now is a great time for them.
We do not have any current donations. However, I would like to remind you that today's marathon is supporting Trans Lifeline. Since 2014, Trans Lifeline's hotline has evolved from an entirely volunteer-run operation into a comprehensive resource that employs trans-identified staff and volunteers in a variety of roles. Hotline operators have logged thousands of hours and are committed to being a reliable resource for years to come with your support. For more information, please visit translifeline.org. You can also type !charity in the chat to bring up all their links.
Awesome. A really, really wonderful cause, and one that I'm very, very happy to be supporting. Okay, so here's the deal. We are back in Ravens Road Camp. We're actually going to take both characters over to Valgor to turn in this quest. I'm going to ditch Greek just slightly next to Valgor, and then Adara is going to walk through a wall and talk to Valgor from very far away. This is a trick called Spooky Banter at a Distance. And again, I will talk more about this during the glitch exhibition after the run. But the important part of this is the back way that we were supposed to come in into the into town after we got Adara. So if we had gone and fought the boss and done things normally, that is we would have opened that door from the other side and would have been able to walk through it, but we didn't. So we needed Adara to walk through walls. Fortunately, Adara is a wizard, not an illusionist, but a wizard. And so she is properly able to walk through walls. That's totally cool. Also, talk to people from very far away. We'll go ahead and buy our backup whetstone. So now that we've turned in the quest, Valgor told us that there is a fortress to the west, which is I forget the name of it. Anyway, it's that's probably where our brother is, but the bridge that leads to the west is broken. So we would only really have a chance of getting over there if we had a sister who could fly, which we do, but we're doing all main quests, so we actually have to repair the bridge. Or, you know, we repair the bridge. I kind of gave up the ghost with that one. So here's a guy with an axe hanging out by an enormous tree who might be able to help us get a bridge. But he needs his friend, Farvin, who also has an axe, to help him because one axe is just not enough. It's not a problem of whether or not he's able to fell the tree with one axe. That's not really the question. The important thing is that one axe is just not enough on principle. So we need two axes. And in order to do that, we're going to talk to Farvin from really far away and give him the letter from all the way up here, because that's the person that I happened to station Adara next to. So a little bit more spooky banter at a distance. We get them teleported to each other for free. I'm not really sure why the second axe was necessary, because look how much more work Yensi is doing than Farvin. But now the bridge is down, and we can go ahead and make our way into the next area, which is a big kind of like desert area. What the heck is this? Sorgashen. It's called Sorgashen. Thank you, in-game UI for helping me out here. So we're gonna send Adara over. She's gonna pick some berries as we go, because something a little dangerous is gonna happen. Okay, so first I need to kill you. Wait for my magic to refill. And oh, right. And now Adara, who is a wizard, is going to pull her brother out of a treasure chest. And that's just how it goes. One of them's an illusionist, the other is a wizard. And between the two of them, they just pull each other out of treasure chests. Sorg Ashen is full of ice puzzles. There's big blocks of ice that you're supposed to melt with torches and by lighting bonfires. And you'll see some of that happen in the fort because there are more ice puzzles in there. But the fastest way around, because there is a shortcut back through Sorg Ashen, is basically just to have Adara take damage boosts. And fly over the shortcut. That was not really intended. Most of that wall is intended, or the lower part of that wall is not grippable, and the devs just missed that you could grip the upper part of it and take damage to get through it. You move slower when you're holding a torch, so it behooves you to let go of the torch periodically so you can walk faster and then just re-grab it later. Fortunately, torches also allow you to fly. This is, aptly enough, called Firefly. And we're going to be using it a lot in here. It also used to be it was the original trick that I used to skip Sorg Ashen. But it turns out that it is faster to let your sister soak a lot of damage than it is to fly using a torch. So we are going to be doing, as I mentioned, a lot of fireflying here. So I am going to go ahead and firefly across this bridge. There's supposed to be a complicated kind of back and forth puzzle there to get a torch to the other side, but flying is much faster. And then we are actually going to abandon our sister again. So this time we're abandoning the real sister. But I'll tell you a secret. While she's not the active character, she is invulnerable. So we're going to hear her fight a whole bunch off in the corner of the screen. But she is just not going to take any damage. No harm will come to her. No sisters were harmed in the making of this speed strat. So the puzzle that we have to solve here is that we need a sun emblem and a moon emblem. And we got the sun emblem. We kind of left Adara there to hang out with the sun emblem in her inventory. Key items, by the way, are not shared between characters, which is one of the reasons why we have to do spooky banter at a distance sometimes. Oh, wow. That was nice. That was a really good one. This segment can go a couple of ways. And there are plenty of backup strats for it, but getting through that ice bridge on the first fly is actually pretty uncommon. And unfortunately, as far as we can tell, we're going to pull our sister out of a chest again. It's more or less up to like very like chance minutia of like when exactly you re-grab the torch and stuff. We're going to stick her there so that she can kill insects for us. She's just going to provide us cover fire, and oh, did not want that to happen, but it'll be fine. Hello? There we go. So you're supposed to go right and go through another series of ice puzzles in order to get a torch over here. But again, fire flying is just faster. And now we are in the inner sanctum of Arcantos Temple. I finally remembered what it was called. And we need 2 elves to put their hands on this statue to reveal the MacGuffin, the light seal, that's going to get us into the final dungeon. This is actually the key to the final dungeon. We're not going to be going there immediately, but that's what it is. And while we're marveling at the MacGuffin, our older brother happens to swing his way through a boarded up window into a different part of Arcantos Temple. And so we get a little solo time as Radel. Radel has a hook shot, and the hook shot makes Radel go zoom. Radel also has a shield for blocking projectiles. Oh no! Radel also cannot swim. So that is an important fact about Radel. Radel also does come with a free large elixir. So he does have a full heal hanging out in his inventory already. So I'm going to be a little bit aggressive at this point. There is also a 3 HP heal point right before the boss here. So I'm not too worried about the 3 HP that I've taken. That random health drop, also super useful. We're going to make our way just past that. This is our extra 3 hit points. So again, not worried. Radel can actually hookshot onto sloped ground like that and also go whoosh. The hookshot is really good. It can also be used to rip the shield away from this boss. Which is something that we're gonna do a fair bit of, and we're gonna just animation cancel out of Radel's fairly long get-up animation, and to get him on the boss and attacking faster. If I didn't lose too much damage in that first round, we can get a 2 cycle here, but he's probably gonna jump. And oh, that was a little silly. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Adara. So now we have recovered the light seal and we can have more hugs. I tried to be a little bit too aggressive about that boss fight. It was fine. I wasn't in danger of dying or anything like that, but it did cost a little bit of time. Eensy weensy bit. Hugs! So now they have this big spiel about what are you all doing here? I found you at last. We're all reunited. We need to stay together forever. And now I'm just going to leave my siblings. Leave my siblings. There's a lot of sibling abandonment in this run.
Jesus. the number of times you just said, "Okay, bye."
You're really just doing it. Look, okay, here's the deal. I didn't actually abandon them. My siblings are just off screen laughing too.
It's okay. I'll just pull them out of a chest later.
Oh, no. See, when I said that my siblings were just off screen laughing too, I actually meant it.
Oh, excellent.
See? Here they are. They were just out of frame.
Aww.
And so we do kind of get teleported back to town. Kind of cutscened back to town here through the loading screen. That big armored thing over by the warp stone is a Bosco, by the way. They're good dogs. We're not going to be able to pet the dog. We kind of missed our opportunity for that. Anyway, so they these guys sent some folks out with a water seal to retrieve the last thing that they need to power their airship. It's a kind of stone called a primeval kribe. Kribes are also the money in this game. I guess they're kind of magic. But so their expedition party never came back. And so they want us to go check it out. And so we're like, all right, I'm going to go and I'll take Greek and Adara with me. Bye, kids. So again, I'm gonna hit a warp stone in a little bit and fast travel them to me in what is actually like normal legal gameplay. So don't worry too much about it. I actually should. Yeah. So oh wow. I'm glad I picked up that safety health. Because are you, wow. All right, there's more. There's more to be had. We're not in any sort of like emergency situation here, but that is, I've never taken that many hits on my way here before. So it's a little embarrassing. There are some more powerful enemies here. There are some really interesting puzzles using Raidel's shield to block lasers. Lots of kind of like... can you please... There we go. Sort of interesting stuff here. We're mostly going to ignore it. We're basically just going to go straight to the boss from the front door, pretty much. You're supposed to use Raidel's shield to carry the siblings left through the lasers. Please, no. Birds. Birds are jerks in all video games. So basically, you're not supposed to be able to make that jump. There is a little bit of a glitch in the game where you can get Greek to triple jump. What is going on here? Oh, are you? All right. I guess we're gonna reset this. That was very weird. Recall. Switching? We switching? We're switching. Okay, there we go. That was some strangeness. Anyway, this is the door that leads us to the boss. We need to get all three of their hands on it. You're supposed to navigate through a bunch of puzzles that involve some swimming, some switch pulling, some using Raidel's shield to block lasers. We're gonna go ahead and have our intrepid travelers eat some food. And we're going to have Raidel pick up 2 of the 3 whetstones that we've gathered so far in preparation for this boss and the final boss. So this is the most difficult. This is the scariest boss in the game. If I don't get the quick kill immediately, I am going to do the safety kill. I'm going to fall back on that very quickly just to make sure that nothing bad happens. But we want Radel to use a whetstone, we want Greak to use a whetstone, and then we enter the fight. So in order to fight this boss, you need to stun him using these bells. Oh, all right, okay. It is safety kill time. Oh boy, bad thing happened. So we're actually going to have to back up the backup kill. So this is going to take a moment because he's unfortunately very slow. And we need to get him close to a bell. All right, now he's close to a bell, so we can start wailing on him again. And there we go. So, like I said, I was going to bail out and safety kill because that can turn even more south than it did. A time loss can turn into just like a total party kill. He cocooned 2 of 3 of my party members. And that, if he cocoons all 3 of them, then that's game over. Even if there's still HP left. If any one character dies, your entire party is considered to be dead. You have to escape with all 3 people, and there's no revival items or anything like that. Okay, so the quest for the Primeval Kribe with the water seal failed. So we need to use our light seal to go to a different labyrinth. And in that labyrinth, there is another Primeval Kribe that hopefully we will be able to use to finally power our airship and leave Azur. Now we get to ride the doggos. These are war dogs. They're called Boscos because one of the developers had a dog, or their neighbor's dog was named Bosco. And that's why they named the war dogs in this game Boscos. Which
I love it. I love that origin.
It is adorable. It's really great. I've gotten to have some of the developers do commentary on this run in the past. Very, very early versions of it. They haven't done commentary on like the most recent versions of the run, which I feel probably like a little bit bad about that, but also a little bit good about it, because definitely like I've like talked to the lead dev several times, and he's kind of been like, I can't believe you did this to my game. Like, it's awesome, but I can't believe that you did this to my game.
You broke so many things.
They've been really supportive, though. Like, the whole dev team stayed up to watch my GDQ run, and they donated, and it was just really nice. They've been super cool and supportive. I hope to see more from them, either in this series or not. Like, I would like to see more from this team.
I love it when devs are involved in the speedruns of their own games.
Yeah.
I love that.
The reason that I talked about all of that now is because this was basically a 2-minute auto-scroller. So, yeah, there is not really a lot to cover there. But now we are in the final labyrinth. So this is Aldalar Labyrinth. And this is really meant to be kind of the culmination of, like, all of your character's skills combined. And so there's lots of puzzles in here that you're not supposed to be able to solve without combinations of 2 characters. And the general gist of it is that the door that leads to the inner chamber, which is where the Primeval Kribe is, and it's where the final boss also is, it's guarded by 3 different seals. And the power for those seals are in these kind of like glassen orbs that are scattered about the labyrinth. And being able to reach those orbs is stuff that is supposed to require the powers of all 3 of the siblings in various combinations. And to get them to all of these different places, there are these red teleport stones, like the one that Greak just touched, and the one that Radel is touching. that allow you to swap two characters' positions when they're touching those stones. And so you're supposed to have to switch characters around to get like the right combinations of characters to various places, so that you can have like there's these anchor points for Radel's hookshot here. But the deal is, it turns out that you don't need that Greek by himself is capable of reaching 2 of these 3. So instead of doing the whole swapping mechanic, we're only going to swap exactly once, and that's just to get Radel out of the place that he starts, because there's no way for Greek to get in there and help Radel out without doing the swap. The swap is actually like faster for everything that you would want to use it for anyway. But Greek is the only person who's able to traverse the entire labyrinth, basically because of the crawl tunnels. Crawling is Greek's special power. He's the only sibling who is small enough to crawl. He's just a small bean. He's just
a little man.
He's just a little guy. Come on, it's his
just
birthday.
A little guy.
It's his birthday. You wouldn't hit a little guy on his birthday, would you?
Nah, that's just rude.
Yeah, we swapped places with Radel. That gets Radel out of here, and that also we actually end up getting Greek out of the top of here onto the way to the second stone. So we're again supposed to have Radel help us with this one, but by a little clever wall jumping, we are able to cross that pit by grabbing that rope, and voila, Greek reaches the crawl tunnel. So this one is gated specifically. Only Greek can reach this one. And that is 2 of 3. Now, because of the position where this leaves Greek, it is like en route to the exit. We are actually going to abandon Greek here, basically. He's gonna come over here, and we're just not gonna see him again for the duration of the run, until it is time to go home. Unless I accidentally switch to him while I am trying to switch to somebody else instead. No big deal. No big deal.
It is now someone else's memories of Azur.
Yes, it's now somebody else's memories of Azur. So the reason that the particular reason why we leave him here is that we need Radel and somebody who can swim, because we need Radel's shield to block lasers, and we need someone who can swim to hit this switch. And that is what we need in order to solve this puzzle. Now we're gonna let Adara get hit by a laser. That's intentional, and we're gonna let Radel drown a little bit. That's also intentional. We are going to... We get to the... Oh, we just passed the mushroom. I hope I did that correctly. Yes! I got most of them. So they are actually able to run during that cutscene without the camera on them. Oh no. I didn't get both of them through the door. And I was able to navigate them a significant amount of the way toward the door during that time. I opened the inventory menu, which gave me a little bit of ability to see where they were. Can we please not? Thank you. We're going to go ahead and grab this Primeval Kribe, which is going to trigger the final boss fight. I made a small little error here. Oh, I did not mean to drink that potion. That is unfortunate. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Nothing bad usually happens with the Plague Abomination, because this is actually not that difficult of a fight. Basically just tucking ourselves in the corner here. He has a slam attack that we just need to be far enough back that it doesn't hit us. And we need to make sure that Adara is kind of shoved in his face to do optimal damage. But otherwise, we're just kind of using our whetstone and whacking at its feet and whacking at its face. And kind of trying to put ourselves in the correct place. And let's see. Okay, good. All right, and that is the final boss fight. Combat is not the focus of this game. The focus of this game is really the puzzles, and unfortunately, in the speedrun, we basically just skip all of them, and that's kind of the crux of this, is that like we can't skip most of the fighting, but we can skip basically all of the puzzle solving. So now we have an escape sequence, because no good game is complete without an escape sequence. Similarly, a fishing minigame, though this one actually does lack a fishing minigame. And we do need to run all 3 siblings out of the labyrinth together in order to trigger the endgame cutscene where time is called. We are coming pretty close to time. I will call it, but basically there will be a point where letterboxing happens on the screen again, and that is when time is called, is when the final cutscene triggers and that letterboxing happens. So we're out of the labyrinth. We have to run back to our war dogs and to our friends, and we're coming up on it. And time.
Very nice.
Memories of Azur, All Main Quests. I have no idea what my time was at this
48
point.
minutes and 33 seconds according to our clock.
Ouch. Yeah, we ran we had some we hit some snags. So sorry about that. I over-anchored, well, not over-anchored. I anchored on safety so that I would not lose the run. I was maybe a little bit aggressive with my estimate. World record for this is like a 42, so there are a few things that where if I had died, I would have lost the entire run, though, because you don't get to keep progress in this game. You lose it entirely, and so that would have put me back at this save point just very, very early in the game.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So losing a few minutes was definitely preferable. So yeah, that's the run. Let's talk about the glitches. So first, the reason that I kept this save in particular is I want to talk a little bit more about the glitch that I did when I met Adara. So we're gonna well, there's actually a couple of things that I should talk about here. Okay, so this particular puzzle, this is a reflector. It doesn't shoot a beam itself. The thing up there with the little like gem on it is the reflector. So there's actually 2 different glitches that can be used to cross this. The first one is so Greek has a double jump, but actually he has a triple jump. And so you can technically, it's pretty precise, and I didn't quite make it, but you see that you can use the triple jump to get over there. The way that the triple jump works is this. A lot of things in this game, a lot of the glitches in this game, basically all of them, hinge on doing 2 things at the same time. The game really doesn't like it when you try to do 2 things at the same time. In this case, what I'm doing at the same time is attacking. And for some reason, that attack returns me to a standing animation and cancels my jump. It's basically animation canceling the beginning of my jump. And so from that standing animation there, I can get a bunch of extra height. Now, the technique that I actually use to get out of here is something called mud skip. So when you hit the surface of a liquid, you actually get your jump back before you touch ground. And so as a result, you are able to basically double jump from a little bit higher up, and that lets you get onto this platform. So we have the triple jump, we have mud skip. Triple jump gets used in a variety of places. I use it at the beginning of the fortress in the east, the one where we smelt the metal, to get Greek up without dropping the ladder. There are a bunch of other places. It's the entire reason why we can go in the front door of the second to last dungeon instead of doing the much more dangerous skip that we used to do. And so that is that one actually was very powerful. I found that right after the GDQ run. The next glitch that I'm going to talk about is I did this. I showed this very briefly before, but if I were to drop Greek into off this ledge, we would get letterboxing, and Greek would start to plod very slowly. And in fact, you will see it. He's plotting. But now the letterboxing is there, and I actually have just kind of free movement now. And I can kind of run around like this. And even if I come back down here, I don't have to deal with this. This is the only cutscene in the entire game where damage taking to cutscene cancel actually gets you anything. It is only this one. It seems really powerful to be able to interrupt a cutscene with damage. But aside from this and the drowning in Aldalar Labyrinth, where you're able to move during the cutscene where the door opens, there's no other instance where damage frees you up to move like that. So those glitches are really niche, but they're kind of fun. And again, discovered late. We're going to take a quick look at hugs before I go back to the main menu for the other glitches that I am going to show you. So you'll remember that several times over the course of the run, I pulled a sibling out of a treasure chest. What the heck happened? How does that work? Well, let me tell you. So first, we're gonna go back over here to Sork Ashen, because there is a convenient treasure chest over here. And so we're going to talk about this a little bit. Okay, so this is the treasure chest that I used to pull Greek through when we came through here the first time. And so basically, there are two different ways to change characters in this game. If I press the left button on my D-pad, it changes to Greek, and it always changes to Greek. And if I press left again while I have Greek selected, nothing happens. If I press down on the D-pad or tab on my keyboard, I cycle through my characters. This is weirdly important because for some reason this trick works when you cycle through characters, but it does not work when you select a specific character. So Greek is next in line, so I'm going to be pulling Greek out of this treasure chest. And what I'm going to do is, on the same frame as I open this treasure chest, I am going to cycle over to Greek. And what's going to happen when I do that is Greek opens the treasure chest instead of Adara. So what's going on here? Basically, if you are performing anything that the game doesn't process the animation for instantaneously, then doing this kind of interaction and swap at the same time causes the right character to get the item. The game knows that Adara opened the treasure chest. This crystal ornament ends up in her inventory. But it performs the animation with the active character, not the character who opened the treasure chest. And because performing that animation snaps the character to the position where they perform that animation, it teleports them. Now, this doesn't work for lots of different things. If Greek picking up a torch is instantaneous, right? So like interaction swapping here doesn't do anything. These kinds of remote interaction glitches, picking up an item, it displays that Radel got the flower, but it doesn't teleport him because there's no animation. It only works with treasure chests if you're doing a teleport. Okay, so Spooky Banter at a Distance is basically the same. It's basically the same glitch. Here, let me go and heal Adara up just so that nothing bad happens. I'm gonna show you this in probably the simplest possible way. There is a merchant here. in this. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave those. I don't want to lock things up right now, but so we're gonna leave those two. Oh, the merchant isn't here anymore. The merchant is no longer here at this point. So we're actually going to revert to save so that we can go back to town. That'll be easier. Okay. So the deal here is, right. I have Radel right over here. I have Greek over here. If I interaction switch, Radel does the actual talking. Because the talking doesn't actually happen until after the animation is processed. So Radel does the walking animation gets processed, and then the talking starts, and the active character, the one who completed the animation, does the thing. I used this to walk through walls. How? Well, it turns out that when it comes to talking to people, the game only processes the animation for your X coordinate. So if I talk to Riem here, Radel's just gonna walk into the wall over here, just completely underground, until he's in the right horizontal position to talk to Riem. And at that point, the game's like, all right, cool, you're in the right position now, so whatever. But during this time, wall collision doesn't happen because it's a forced animation. So there is one problem here now that Radel is underground, which is that I can't get him out. he's stuck here basically, unless I spooky banter at a distance again. Right, so I can kind of get him sort of like stuck here, but he won't get out unless I go over here and talk to Tauros again, right? At which point, or Zach. At which point he can emerge and walk on air a little bit, and we're back. Great, cool. Remote interaction, very fun. Now, these two, chest warping, spooky banter at a distance, very useful, supremely useful glitches. But there are some times that you should not remote interact. Because if you remote interact with a teleport stone, something bad happens. So Greek is my active character, but can't do anything. And if I change to Greek's location, something. Now we're back at Ravens Road Camp, and Greek is no longer in my little switch swappy icons at the bottom left of the screen. And
Greek has phased out of existence.
Yeah, so I can switch to Radel here, but I can't switch back to Greek now. And I can change to Adara's location, and that'll load a new screen. That doesn't help either, because Greek is gone now. We have erased our younger brother from existence. But maybe, just maybe, if we send Radel after him, he'll be able to find him and bring him back. No, that didn't work either. That. Now Radel's gone too. So unfortunately, now Adara is cold and alone in the world, and the game is completely unable to be completed because you need all 3 characters to enter the final dungeon, and you need all 3 characters to enter the second to last boss as well. So we have completely locked ourselves out from beating the game by erasing 2 of our siblings from existence. But if Adara thought that her brothers were annoying, then I guess she's got some peace now. That's all I got. These are the glitches of Greek Memories of Azur. I hope that you enjoyed this show, this run, the
I sure
exhibition.
did.
And thank you. That's very sweet of you. And thanks to Fastest Furs for putting on such a great event, benefiting from a
Uh,
really great cause.
Before you go, there is a donation that is addressing you.
Oh,
Radicoon donates $31, saying, "Love the commentary and the run, Sabera."
aw, thank you, Radicoon. I really appreciate it. Um, and thank you everyone for watching. And again, one last big shout out to Fastest Furs for this really, really wonderful event and for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here.